Welcome back to episode 3 of Unfiltered and Unfinished. We did take a little break. I think
Sure
over a
did.
month.
Yeah. I don't have the date handy, but it's been a little long. It's been a little long. This is definitely overdue. I could say that for sure because it's been rough. It's been a rough month for both of us.
August was the longest year, you guys. Literally, I felt like it's been a year and not a month. So I think it was like so important to push to come back and record an episode.
Yeah, and I think because we kind of talked about it a little bit, I think what's important is that we can take this past month and in a way turn our podcast, because from the beginning we were talking about making our podcast a therapy session for people to come in and kind of have a safe place to talk. Well, we kind of need that.
We actually do.
Yeah,
and I texted you a couple nights ago or maybe a week ago now, and I was like,
planted the seed.
I was like, I really need this. It's time.
Yeah.
I have some venting. I have all of this stuff and just to kind of address. And like literally, I think since August 1st, it's been like a wild ride.
Yeah,
so.
it's been nonstop. Go for both of us. I think because between like our busy schedules and this damn fly.
I know.
Son of a bitch.
I see it. It came back.
Where's your sofa?
It's over there. So we had between our busy schedules and all of the packed stuff that we have, between my business and the parties and that stuff that my daughter turned 16 this month,
I know.
So
oh my God, such a milestone.
It really is, and there's a lot of good that came out of that. There's some bad and disappointing stuff as well that we can talk about, but we had that alone was big.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how emotional is it, do you think?
Well,
because 16 is it's like a self-declaration phase, I think, for girls.
For sure.
Like 16 is like when we think that we have it all figured out.
That's it. Yeah, that's the golden age for teenage girls. Like that is it. Like let's be honest.
I got 3 more years.
Yeah. So no, if to answer that question, I have to tell you that I have to answer that in 2 ways because the emotion of turning 16 there was a lot of buildup for her because she was really excited. She was really at a point like, I can't believe I'm going to be able to drive. I can't believe I'm going to be able to work. Like all these things that she's been wanting to do is all happening now.
It was like a wave.
Yeah.
The wave just hit all
Correct.
at once.
So she, very excited, built up, happy. And we were planning her party. We were trying to get her friends to come sleep over the night before. And we were going to have like an outdoor movie night. Like we were going to do a lot of stuff the night before and then all go to my parents and have like a pool party. And it was going to be a nice little thing. Until her friends started canceling on her. She went from 5 friends to 1. So that was like disappointing completely. And it tore me up because, watching her go from this like kind of like euphoric, like, you know what I mean? Like she's really anticipating one of the what to her in her 16 years of living.
It's a big deal.
This is her moment.
Yeah.
And it fell apart hard. Like, let's see. So her birthday was on a Saturday. Her Friday, the party was supposed to happen. No, I'm sorry. Her friends were supposed to be here on Friday. I'm telling you, Monday, a friend dropped. Tuesday, a friend dropped. Wednesday, a friend dropped. Like the whole week, I watched this roller coaster, this complete slide to the, you know what I mean? So watching her, she literally cried every time a friend dropped out. And now I'm at a point like, okay, we're struggling financially in a really big way. So like, I'm trying to find a way, how do I give her this party, this glamorous thing that is now effectively ruined because of her friends? So we're scrambling last minute to figure out what to do, because we didn't
even have it. There was no plan B.
No,
this was the plan.
This was the plan, So we kind of like tried to figure that part of it out. And we ended up making the best out of what we had. One of her friends slept over that couldn't make the party, but she did come the night before. And then we took her friend, and her boyfriend to Topgolf because she's really kind of like, for some reason, become to love that pretty high. So we went to Top Golf. They have Top Golf nights, which, they play music, and it was the whole thing. So.
I have a confession.
Uh-oh. You've never been.
I have never been yet. And
we just went for the first time.
Plotted or put it out in like a story, like someone date me and take me to Top Golf.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Just putting it out there for anybody.
So we're at an age now.
It looks fun.
We're at an age, and we've been in this area long enough to know a time before Top Golf, right?
Right.
When it came to our area, I never gave a flying fuck about Top Golf in any way, shape, or form. I couldn't care less. Let me tell you something. I mean, how long have they've been in our area for many years now?
I was gonna say, I think it's been a minute since they've been up.
It's been a while.
And they just built. I just drove by the other day on the highway. They just built a new one in Avon. So
yes, that's the third one in our area.
Okay, so I drove by and I glanced over and I'm like, damn, I really need to get a Top Golf.
Let me tell you something. So we went the first time. Was that my first time? No. We went before that. Our anniversary. Yeah, me and Mary, my wife, we went to Top Golf like a week or two prior to that for our anniversary. And I got to tell you, like,
is the hype?
Dude, no. It's fun.
Is it? Okay.
It's so fun.
Okay.
Like, okay, so we don't have to get it too far into this, but I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun. It's fun because, I know. Not only, so the way they do it, so like it's a driving range essentially. Mm-hmm. It's really just a tee, golf balls, you hit the ball. It's really the end of it. But they make games out of it. So they have like painted markers on the field, and they have like cameras like that record your swing and the ball. So like they know
a stroke.
It is.
I don't know.
It is called a stroke.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
It is a stroke.
The closest to golf I got was watching Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
I don't know. Now if you want to put queen over here.
Oh, okay. Mini golf, huh?
Mini golf. I'm a mini golf girl.
Okay.
So, but I'm always willing to upgrade.
So here. They record this stuff, and what's cool is that they put games, so they have TV screens above you, and you pick a game. So, and I use this as an example. This isn't the only game, but I'll use this as an example. Angry Birds. You know what Angry Birds is, obviously.
Yeah.
So when on Angry Birds, you pull the little bird down in its slingshot, and you shoot it at like a wood house or something built with pigs. On the screen above you, they show the field with a wooden house with pigs on it. And you're standing at the other end. So when you hit it, it shows the ball going into as if it was an Angry Bird going in. So it is a lot of fun. They make games, and you got multiple different types of games to play during this time. So it's a lot of fun. Here's the problem, though. There's two problems. One, when your wife's favorite movie is Happy Gilmore, you spend 2 hours watching her say one-liners to the golf ball the entire time. Get in your home. You're too good for your home. She's literally on her hands and knees yelling at the ball while we're at Top Golf. So you got to deal with that. Number two, long story short is we've talked. I lost a fuck ton of weight in the past year and a half. Combined with not being at the driving range probably in 15 years. When I was heavy, I couldn't hit the ball for nothing. I had no idea how to swing the club. I couldn't figure it out. I never hit the ball. I missed every single time. It was awful. So I never went. Now I lost 200 and some pounds. Somehow I learned how to golf. I don't know how. I can beat
Are you the real Happy Gilmore?
Let me tell you something.
Is that? I
can hit that ball so damn hard. I hit it over the fucking field. I'm cussing like crazy right now because I'm fun. It was so fun. But like the game happens in the field, but I kept hitting it over the game. I missed the wooden house with the pigs in it every time. I kept going up over it. So it's a lot of fun. You got to go with the right people though.
So how was her experience for was her experience just as
It was.
good?
It was. So she went with the first time that she went was with her boyfriend and his family, which I would like to talk about her boyfriend too at some point.
Okay.
I was a little caught off guard with this.
I was
So,
gonna say I don't think I knew
yeah,
that.
this is new. I just realized I dropped this.
I was gonna
Sorry,
say,
guys.
Yeah, I think this was news to me. I was I
Yeah.
didn't know she had a boyfriend.
She we'll get into that.
Okay.
That's a pretty good story
Okay.
too. So we did the top golf. She did
Tis
top
the
golf with
season,
him.
16.
Yeah, it's time. Ugh. But she came home. She's like, it was so fun. Like, she was like ranting and raving about it. She loves it. So that's why we did it for her birthday. We had a good time, but leading into the party the next day at my parents' house, like, it was a really slow roll. So the people that did come, it took a while for it to fill out, and it just didn't feel right. Like, it didn't feel like a 16th birthday party for what I perceive to be my favorite human in the world.
I've had those types of feelings, just even if, just throwing like community events.
Sure.
So like, I do understand, maybe how she was feeling. And I've
believe
had
that.
those type of things, even as an adult with my own self, even like, it's just crazy because I feel like I know exactly how she was feeling.
Sure.
Because even as an adult now, like, I think like 2 years or last year, actually, I think I was planning like a huge dinner for my birthday. And, everyone always says like, oh my God, you just like, everybody, you have so many friends, you have this. And then when it comes down to it, I can send out 15 invites, 60 people, and literally 2 people showed up.
Yeah. That's got to be a kick in your, total kick to your kneecap,
Like,
right? I mean,
literally, like 2 people showed up. It's like, I'm like, okay, but I always show up for everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but I really just tried really not to dwell on it, because I realize sometimes, and I still know she's at that early age where she's not going to understand right now, but it's something you understand when you're older. It's never the quantity.
It's the quality.
It's the quality.
Yeah, you got that.
And honestly, the 2 people that did show up for me, shout out to Missy and Rhiannon. Thank you for coming to my birthday dinner. But seriously, like, I still had the best time.
Yeah.
And I literally,
That's important.
And shout out to, I think it's 1330? Oh my God, I think so. Polly's a chef there. So he literally was amazing, and the food was great, provided such a like just cozy atmosphere, and honestly it was like really intimate. So
Yeah.
But I do understand, because at the end of the night I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Everybody had plans. I
Right.
mean,
And,
I don't know.
That
Like,
kind of like puts it into perspective, like where you stand in the world of your friends or your peers, and that's the thing. As an adult, like as her father, I struggled a little bit, and I tried my best to not wear that on my face, because I didn't want it to rub off on her, because she is very sensitive. And I think to a point, like, it's to a fault, because it is a little bit much. And I just, knowing what that meant to her, it bothered me to see this not really pan out in the way that I thought it should have. So we just tried to make the best of it. And honestly, by the end of the day, by the time we got home and, we're all exhausted, and, we always try to ask her, Mary, how was your birthday? To hear her say that it was awesome.
job done. Check the box.
Yeah, so we did try. I still feel like things should have been a whole lot different. But at the end of the day, we have a 16-year-old now who finally, she got her first job. She is
yay.
totally ecstatic about that. She didn't start yet, but she got the job. She's got all the paperwork in, and I think on Tuesday she'll get her schedule. So
I love that for her.
really excited about that.
Brooke, I love that for you, because I know she's probably going to watch this.
Oh, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I love that for
Yeah.
you. No, I do. And, and it's like, I feel like I've been around for a lot of years. So I remember coming to Brooke's like 5th birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a milestone for me as well.
Yeah,
Like
you
bringing
could
my girls, you guys
see-
invited me to parties and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been around with your
With
family
my
too.
girl, say with my family and just showing up. So it's just, I follow
It's
her on
wild.
TikTok too.
Oh God.
And I'm just like,
What?
I feel like, I'm like, oh my God.
How does that make
is
you
this
feel?
Little Brooke? Is this little Brooke?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I feel like it depends on the person. And I try to say this all the time, especially with kids and social media. Like, my girls have TikTok. Some people frown upon that,
Oh,
like,
for
oh,
sure.
your kid shouldn't have social media and,
I hear that all the time.
XYZ and, whatever. But I'm not saying I respect you have to do what you have to do as a parent and what you feel and believe. And I just always been a type of person like I'm gonna just go with what I want. But I think the two perceptions would be, yeah, watching her on TikTok, you can say like, okay, is this a little bit?
Is this appropriate?
Is this appropriate? Yeah. Is this are some of her song choices XYZ at this age? Da da da. Or is her shirt too short? Like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm really that person because I try to reflect back on me at that age, right?
Sure. Yeah, right. That's
and
all
I wish
you
more
can do.
people would really just open up to that because we're so quick to stigmatize the new generation of girls, right?
Which are vastly different than when you guys were that age.
It is. No, I completely agree. It is, but I also see a girl who's finding herself. I feel a girl that's expressing herself in the way that she wants to express herself. And I feel like if we put too much damper on that,
yes,
that can go south for her.
You're hitting a very key thing that I want to point on because as her father and because people that know us and our family know that me and her have a really tight relationship. So instead of taking things up with her or Mary, a lot of times I hear about it. So almost always it's, oh, look at what she's wearing, or, oh, look at how she, whatever it might be. To me, and in my opinion, there is no amount of parenting that I can do, that anybody can do at this point to stop that version of her, because that is who she is. Mm-hmm. That is who she's going to be, whether we like it or not. So instead of being the complete, dictator father, taking all this away and doing all this other stuff, and all that's going to do is magnify and blow that up even more. Mm-hmm. So I would rather allow her to do those things, but educate her to what to look for and to be responsible in the people that she talks to and the people that she deals with. At first, that was rough.
It is. And I think the most important part you said is to educate her, to make it, to make her aware of, hey, if you are on this and you're, doing a TikTok and you have a low cut shirt on, do you know how many men are looking at older men, creepers?
Because you can see that now with all the analytics and stuff.
Yeah. And, and I've had this conversation with my girls and my oldest is going to be 13 and my little one's 9. And I still had these same conversations with them because I don't ever feel you're too young to educate your girls, and not even just girls, even your boys, because I say now too, the lack of conversation is that women are predators too. And I don't think a lot of people want to acknowledge that because we're just faced as the caregivers and the lovers and the nurturers, but the evil that lurks behind a lot of those faces. Yeah. That's the luring in. Yeah. And a lot of young boys they're going through this too. So I don't want to discriminate against those two, but yeah, absolutely. Education. I was telling my girls at the age of 2, pointing to their body parts and saying no one ever touches you here. You tell mommy and da 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 da. And, unless it's me or a doctor, I've literally let that soak in with them in a sponge. Mm-hmm. And I think too, when we do this with our kids and, cause I have people are like, oh my God, well, why would you tell them? Is it because I want them to know that nobody touches them.
Absolutely.
And use the appropriate terms for what they are. I think
well, there's different filters per age of the kid that you're talking to.
But you want to make sure too, hey, and especially as they're, they're aging, hey, this is that. If anyone ever asks you to touch, the terms and stuff like that.
You kind of have to do it that way though, because you don't want to try to have a conversation in code where shit can get mixed up or confused or, kids, they're so innocent. And
they are.
I've seen my daughter in ways like, I'm going to paint a really quick story. So my daughter, when we were struggling, we were living with my grandmother for a while, and she had a friend down the street that was not quite as innocent as our daughter. Okay. And she was a good girl. She was a good kid. She'd come over and hang out. We didn't have a problem with her being there, but she had a little devious side to her that Brooke didn't really understand. Mm-hmm. So
I'm going through these things now.
Oh, I know.
As we speak.
I know. So, and it's going to get better at some point, I promise. But so we had, because of where we lived at the time, which it kind of ingrained and bred it into me. So it's going to be like this for a long time, but we had security cameras all the way around the house. We had to, just because we didn't trust our area, but it also allowed me to be comfortable with letting my daughter play outside.
Yeah.
So she's in the backyard with her friend, and right above where our camera was, right off to the side of where our camera was a spotlight for the garage. And every year we would get a bird that would build a nest on that, on the light. So this year, Mama Bird's up there. The girls are in the backyard playing, and they, acknowledge the birds. Mama Bird flies away. Well, she can see that there's eggs in the nest up there. The girl says, "We should go see them. I want to see them." Brooke didn't see a problem in that.
Right.
No problem. They get a chair, shimmy it over there. They stand up on there. And they take the... okay, how do I say this? I'm trying to make sure I don't screw this story up. They take the nest down. They have the eggs in their hand. Now, at this time, the girl is trying to convince, because now Brooke knows that we can see her. She knows we have a camera. So the girl is like, well, cover the camera. Just cover it. This is how I tell you. This is the best way I'm going to tell you that my kid is so innocent, she does not know what to do. Okay? The girl said, cover the camera, which means put your hand over the damn thing, block it so we can't see. This is how innocent Brooke was. The girl was on the ground, on the driveway, kind of like 10 feet, 15 feet away from the camera. Brooke is in front of her in the middle of the driveway going, don't look, with her hands in the air. When I tell you, like, if this is my camera, she's like this, like way back here. Don't look. There's no part of her that's covering anything.
Telling on herself without telling on herself.
100%.
That's my little one. That's my little one.
That's an innocence that I miss. I genuinely miss that, because that kid did not know how to be bad. I mean, she was naturally an asshole sometimes, but like, she just didn't know how to be devious. So that part of it, as your girls get older, you're gonna start seeing and start watching this innocence kind of fade away. It kind of sucks a little bit. It is, and
it's scary. It really is, and that's why I have a very... I choose to have a very open relationship with my children as well. And like you said, I don't, we always go with the saying, I always say, I'm not your little friend, because I'm not your little friend. Yep. I'm not here to be your friend. Right. I don't want to be your friend. I'll be your friend when you're 21.
Sure.
In that way of allowing my children to think they could do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Now I am your friend when you do need someone to lean on. I'm all of that and more, but I'm your mom. I'm your mom first. And that's just what, I feel like that's what a lot of these kids are lacking in our generation, is too many parents want to be friends.
Yeah.
And
you need both legs to stand
both.
on.
You do need both. But when I'm talking about the friends, I've heard so many parents say, well, I don't care if now mind you, 16-year-olds, whatever. I don't care if my kid drinks. I just tell them that they're going to drink here with me. That way I know what they're doing. It's like,
yeah, but that's not,
that's, you're still allowing and contributing.
You're building a habit that's going to fuck them up in the future.
They do. And it's like, okay, well, I rather put my foot down and say, absolutely fucking not. And if you do decide that this is what you're going to do with some friends or whatever, then you're doing it without my knowledge and without my consent, because I'm not going to condone that behavior. The same thing as I've just working in the field that I work in. When I asked a lot of people that were in addiction, do you know who the first users 90% with them were?
Who?
A parent.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, sure.
A parent. I've had so many people say, I did my first line of cocaine at 14 with my dad.
Oh my God. I can't even
I
imagine
drank
that.
my first Zima, let's just say Zima, when I was 15 with my mom, my uncle. And it's like the village of people who are supposed to be protecting.
Yeah. They're the ones opening the doors.
They're the ones that technically opened up that, that door. And like I said, I mean, that's just me. So like right now, like, my daughter recently showed me a Snapchat story of some girls at her school. And literally, I mean, my daughter's like a year younger than everybody. So, but still, they're 14.
Yeah.
And I think my jaw was like, you mean to tell me that no parents knows that this is going on? It's like, someone bring me some pink Whitneys. I didn't even know what a damn pink Whitney was until I like looked it up. It's like our version of what would have been like Zimas or I'm trying to think of like Thunderbird. Like I'm going back in the day, like some Thunderbird alcoholic drinks, like wine cooler stuff. Literally like on their dressers and I'm like,
At 14.
At 14.
Oh my God.
So I'm like telling my daughter, I'm like, what the hell is a Whitney Houston? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the only Whitney I like,
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow. But then it is scary because then some of these girls, like I said, my daughter's going to eventually want to ask, no, you're fine to hang out with. So having that conversation with her too. Yeah. Saying like, I'm so old school. I still use that. Hey, if your friend jumps off a bridge, are you going to jump off of it?
Oh, it
so
works.
I literally just try to encourage her to literally be her own person, make her own choices, but also to feel comfortable enough to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the, oh my God, I can't tell my mom that. Oh my God, she's the first thing she's going to do is kill me. Yeah. I really tried to let her know that I once was young. I was doing things at her age that I was
probably
already
way worse.
Way worse. So like literally I was already so advanced, not really nothing to, to brag about, because I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like I just never, I wish my innocence would have been held for as long as I could have held it.
That's the same argument that I have all the time.
And I'm really trying to preserve that for my girls. The
first thing that Mary or anybody really ever says to me when we're talking about Brooke or anything, they always say, well, what were you doing at that age? way worse stuff, which is why I am the way I am with her, because so I think having a conversation about this, I agree with everything that you said, but there's one difference in the way I approach it. Okay. So, well, it's not different. It's the way I say it, I guess. So I guess we could talk about that. So you said, I'm not your friend. Mm-hmm. I'm your mom first. Mm-hmm. But I am your friend when you need me, right? I completely agree with being able to be there for your kids in a way that nobody else will ever be there for her or them. Being your friend, having fun, doing the fun stuff with your kids, but also being able to be your parent and, rule and lay the groundwork for your kids to do things that need to be done or whatever it might be. I 1000% agree with that. The way I explain it, now I don't, for right or for wrong, I always tell my kid and the people that I know or any conversation that I have about it is that I am her friend. She tells me every day that I'm her best friend. But the same thing goes, though, is that I've built a relationship, this fucking fly. I've built a relationship with her to an extent where, like, there is no drama or stress. If I need something done, all I have to do is ask. If my wife asks the exact same thing, forget it.
I've, me and your wife have talked and discussed, and
Yes.
she's reached out to me a few times,
Yeah.
about how she feels her relationship is with Brooke.
Yeah.
And I think it was just like for advice, and I think just having a different perspective, and I don't want to misquote, but I really think, she's like, I just feel like my daughter hates me.
Mm-hmm. She does.
She probably does at this age. She probably does.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, because I feel like girls, and this is me too, we gravitate to our fathers differently. And I felt the same way, I think, through my life though. And I wasn't giving my mom enough credit. It was like dad. I don't, and I hate to say, I'm trying to find the right word to say this. A father's love feels different.
Sure.
And
they always say
in what should be a positive way.
They always
want to
say
say that
a daughter, that a daughter's first love is her father.
Her father. They do say that, and they always say too, usually your first heartbreak comes from your father.
Oof.
Which is true.
That sucks. Oof.
I feel. Which is also true.
That's scary.
It's scary. Yeah. It's like it's like one of those catch 22s. So yeah, and and it's like me, I feel like me and my mom, we had so much more conflict because I would act out and I would test her. She wasn't the dominance in that, really, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
I see it. I live it every day.
I didn't feel the fear from her as I did my father.
Mm-hmm.
My father could raise his voice.
Mm-hmm. And complete flip in.
And I knew.
Yeah.
I knew what that meant. Now, my parents have, this is crazy. It might be crazy. My parents have never hit me.
Never once.
Never, not once.
Okay.
I grew up in a household to where their voices were stronger.
Sure.
I grew up on, it was always the disappointment that hurt me the worst. And I feel like when my dad, I was, like I said, I was a little bit reckless when I was a teenager too. And just like hearing my dad at a time saying, you know what, you really disappointed me.
That did it for you.
Oh my God. I cried like a little freaking, I would cry like a 9-year-old, like, oh my God. I really hurt I really hurt his feelings. And it was just like all about his feelings. And it was enough for me to know that I had to like get my shit together. Mm-hmm. And then like my mom, it was just like talk back to, I don't care. I can't wait till I turn 18 and get the hell out of here. And and it was always like, wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah.
Shit. So I'm in trouble now. Like,
that's kind of a testament to who you are as a person and who you became, obviously. But how do you think your parents, in the way that they raised you, allowed that to be the form of discipline? Because before you can answer, I was beaten, and I say that firmly. All right, my dad was pretty aggressive when I was young, because that's what he knew. Mm-hmm. He beat the piss out of me when he needed to, and it was often because I was an asshole. So we'll get into how I then turned that into what I needed to for my kid. But for you and growing up, how did your parents and the way they raised you affect that to be your discipline? How did that happen?
So I think it's exactly what you said. So both of my parents came from abusive situations growing up.
Sure.
So, the stories I've heard of, my dad, my grandfather was an alcoholic, amongst other things. And the stories I would hear was that, they could just be sitting there watching TV, and if he came in drunk, it was the fear of them just being used as punching bags.
That's a hard way
my
to be
mom,
raised.
my mom too. So I think that had such an impact on how they raised me, which I'm thankful for,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
like, but I
absolutely.
think it definitely is traumatizing it was for them. Thank God, because it could have went the opposite direction.
Yeah, they could have
They
mirrored that
could have
completely.
mirrored that absolutely completely as to, because that's all they knew, right? They've been hit, they've been used as punching bags. Now we have our own kid, and that's what, but no, their approach was always so different with me. And I barely ever got grounded either, which was crazy. I will tell you,
That's
my
crazy.
first experience of getting grounded, I thought I was like slick. And, you know, I had cut school, I think it was in 7th grade. And at this time my friends and the boy I was dating at the time. And I knew the school would call they did their call outs at a certain time.
Yeah.
On the day. It was like 7 p.m. or something. So I knew I had to be home
At
at
that
that
time,
time. Because
to
at the
get that
time,
call.
it was just a landline, right? So, you know, and then if you had a little bit of extra money, there was extra phones in different rooms and stuff like that. So I'm like, damn, they can't. I know they got a phone in their room. I got to hurry up and pick up the phone. So literally, and then it was like, we were just calling to inform you that your child has missed, you know, I was
You're
like, honestly,
slick.
I was on like day 3. And yeah, so I thought I was slick, and I like clicked the thing. Little did I know, when I clicked it back, all I heard was Nicole, and I'm like, oh shit. He was still on the phone, and I remember he was like, so you weren't in school? And I'm like, fuck. And I was grounded for like 4 days away from like my boyfriend at the time, and you know what? But there was no real discipline like there.
Yeah.
I still didn't learn my lesson because I still eventually started cutting school again. But I think just he tried to stand his ground as much as he could.
Sure.
But I think it was also to a point to where your view kind of comes in, and it's like I was being defiant. So it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna find a way anyway. At that time, and it sucks because I feel like we're going through so much emotions and so many things during our adolescent years.
Yeah, you're learning who you are.
You're
at that
learning who you are, and like I said, luckily I was very fortunate. The group of friends that I did keep weren't always so good, and my parents, even though they were going through whatever they were going through, and you know had their things going on, they still. And I talked about this, I think, in like episode 1 or 2. They still was those parents that anybody in the neighborhood could go to. And they still are those people. For the people in their neighborhood, it's just like, it's just crazy. So they still like try to guide and try to give advice to those my friends who didn't have their parents around.
Yeah.
So I commend them on that completely, and just like I said, they were young parents too. So I mean, they were young, giving advice, really not even like really knowing, but no. And like I literally like remember the first time that my dad had like called me out on like something that I was wearing, shorts
as a young girl.
Yeah. Shorts being
too short. Yeah. Ass cheeks probably hanging out.
I'm sure for sure they were.
Yeah.
And at this time, Jammin' in the Heights.
Oh my God.
Jammin' in the Heights was our we looked forward to this Friday
lived
night.
there
Listen,
every Friday.
I literally, it was life. Okay.
I was there.
I was
every
not
Friday.
allowed to go there for the longest time. I literally snuck with friends to go there, and my parents they weren't for that.
Yeah.
They were very strict in ways, but it wasn't like in the physical form. It was more like, I think I was like 10 when I was allowed to ride my bike in the street. Felt like a big deal. My parents never let me sleep over people's houses. And I remember crying and crying and crying because I didn't understand why I couldn't go to sleepovers.
I got to talk about that.
I didn't understand. And listen, I remember crying so bad the one day that, I mean, every friend I had was probably going to the sleepover. And I gained up enough courage to go ask, like, can I go to my friend's house? And my dad's like, absolutely not. I was so pissed. I was like so pissed. In my head, I'm like, I'm going anyway, but then I didn't. But and I remember crying in my room because I just felt like always the left out kid. Like I wasn't able to do anything. And he came into my room, and it's kind of emotional because I understand it as a parent now.
Now you do.
And he's like, I know you're mad and you're upset. He's like, but one day when you have kids, you're going to understand. You're going to understand. And I try not to be that way towards my kids now because I know how it kind of felt. But at the same time, you do have to be that way because there was the family secrets of other people. There was the molestation of not knowing what was going on in people's homes. So my dad was protecting, in his eyes, protecting me from
100%.
what he could because he had control over that. And now though I do, it's really weird because even my daughter at her age now, I'm like, I find myself asking like, well, does your friend have older brothers?
Yeah, you want to ask.
Is there male, you know, how many male figures are in this house? And I know that sucks as a guy yourself, I'm sure, because now the opposite way could be for your daughter. You got these parents asking like, well, we don't know their dad. And that's not to say that you're out here doing whatever it is, but it's that protection of wanting us to be able to prevent that from ever happening.
Right.
So
where do you stand with your kids now about the sleepovers? If they were to come to you and ask about going to a friend's house and sleepover, where do you stand on that?
So I have let my daughter sleep over a few friends' houses, but they only had sisters. There was no brothers.
Yeah.
And the moms are living with grandmas and stuff. So there really is not male presence.
Yeah. So you think it's more dependent on males being in the household with your girls? I mean, is that
it is?
Like if they were to come to you
if I was
tonight,
gonna be honest with you, it is, and I know I battle with that because I'm like, you can't label everybody that, and you know you have to, but then it's just always that, oh my God, if I let this happen and this did happen, how am I going to live with myself knowing that I had that control?
The reason I ask is because like I'm genuinely curious about it because I have recently changed my views on this, and I'm kind of struggling with it because we had traditionally from a very young age to now, we kind of go, yes, please, because we want her to socialize and we want her to have friends and we want her to be a part of the group. You know, we want her to be in, right? But now that as she gets older and she starts maturing into this beautiful, like, you know, like it scares the shit out of me. And I didn't know that was an option to say no for a while. As we're going through, you know, and I'm getting closer to my wife and her family as our child is getting older, I met her cousin, my wife's cousin, and his wife and his kids. And I absolutely love these people. They are honestly some of my favorite people in her family. And I really respect her cousin, the male. Yeah, Joey. Shout out to Joey. Joey and Monica. They are really amazing people. They raise some beautiful kids, and I have a lot of respect for them. And when I found out that Joey doesn't let his kids go, at the time it was only girls, that he didn't let them sleep over anywhere, I started thinking about that. And I didn't know that was an option. And now, again, fast forward a little bit, we're here now. My daughter is starting to develop and, you know, she's starting to become this. You can kind of see who she's going to be, right? So I've been getting a lot more strict and really really being away from, like, I don't have, I struggle with it because we let her do it for so long, and now I'm trying to take it away. So it feels like she's being punished when it's not her fault. I struggle so hard with that because I know now really, because I've been paying more attention to like what is happening outside in the world of, sexual predators and all of these things that people are preying on these young kids.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's becoming more common now. I don't even want to say this because, even having this discussion when we go into predators, right? I don't want to act like they didn't exist back growing up.
Sure.
They did. They weren't as open. Predators were more the creepy uncle.
Yeah. Now it's not.
Not just limited to the creepy uncle. Now it's
anybody.
Is this your teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Is this your pastor? Is this your doctor? Is this high figure person?
Right. Someone who should have.
Someone
you should be trusting and
absolutely
yeah.
someone that you should but that's why, because those people know they hold 100% trust.
Yeah.
That and power.
That scares me. And that's the reason why at this point, again, she just turned 16 and she wants to go to have these sleepovers with her friends and go to this and that. It's like, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
She's a good girl. Their excuse was, I know what I did when I was young.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. That's exactly the point. We are saying the same thing. Okay. It's to a point because you don't know what's going to happen when the kids go there. You're putting yourself and your experiences, because again, to her point, so if you can't hear her, she said that her cousin knows what they did at that age. I'm going to tell you what I did at that age. Let me tell you a story. Mm-hmm. I had a girlfriend. I would go to my grandma's house and spend the summer at my grandma's house. And I would sleep there.
Yeah.
And grandma would go to bed 9, 10 o'clock. I would leave. I would walk from my grandma's house, which was in Garfield down by the police station. I would walk all the way across Turney Road to CVS Granger Road area where my girlfriend was at St. Teresa School.
Yeah, I know exactly where that's by the old Jammin' in the Heights.
Yes.
Right
across the street.
Right across the street.
I would find my way to her house, to her dad's broke down van in the driveway, and crawl in the back and wait for her to show up.
Yeah, the spot. Meeting spot.
I'm telling that van smelled like some nasty, raunchy sex at 14, 15, or at 15 years old. I'm telling you, it was every day.
Oh, God.
I know what I was doing at that age.
I know.
That's exactly what we're saying, is to know that when she has that ability to go out, that she could make those decisions, because I'm not there to tell her no.
Yeah.
So now, to kind of wrap that part of it up, is I am bringing a lot more of that into our conversations, which is why I asked you, because I do respect you, and I look at you as I see what you do with your girls. You're, from what I can tell from the outside looking in, you are a wonderful mother.
I try.
And I genuinely respect that. So
thank you.
I was just curious how that is. So maybe it's a conversation that I can have with her about who's in the household, and a little bit more forgiving than just completely removing it, like pulling the rug out from underneath her. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what caught me off guard. So my daughter last year, she has a friend. Obviously, I'm not going to say his name, but we actually just took him to go see a play too. So at first, she's like, well, hey, Mom, do you think so-and-so can come over? And it was the boy. And I'm like,
wait, what?
Right, because you're 12. You're not 13 yet.
Right.
So, but then it kind of like triggered me back. Like I said, I think I had my first relations was at 13. So I'm like uproared. But then I'm like, let me talk to your dad. So then I had this conversation with her dad, and her dad's like, in what? Her bedroom? Like, absolutely not. Like, so, and I'm like, well, I was kind of thrown off guard for it too. He's like, well, because their dad is so not the disciplinary. Okay. Like, I do all of that. I'm the stern. I'm the set on boundary. I'm the one. Dad just never has been. Dad cried the first time I think he spanked her at like 2 or something. And when I talk about spank, I'm like, you know, and he cried for 2 hours after. And I'm like looking at him and I'm like, are you
don't
crying?
Be a bitch.
I was like, are you crying? And like literally he's like, my heart's broke. I'm like,
oh God, yeah.
You gotta start somewhere, like, you know. But then it goes back to us showing that father-daughter dynamic.
Yeah.
It's sometimes, you know, like I said, dads just get a little bit heartbroken when it comes to their daughters. So, but you know, I'm like, okay, so I'm having this conversation with her, and I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, you know, I talked to your dad. I'm like, we don't feel comfortable. No, absolutely not. And then, you know, she's giving me the innocence part, right?
Yeah,
because it is just, it truly don't understand. She's like, we want to watch Paddington or something, you know?
Right,
but
right.
I don't know. But then she let me know that he's not even into girls.
Okay, but does that really change anything?
You know, but then you know, that's...
I mean, at that age,
I mean,
really
if I was a
know
boy
that?
too, I'd probably tell somebody I wasn't to come to their house too.
Bingo.
So like, I'm
Bingo.
like, is this a plot twist?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, how do you really know that?
How do you know that? And not only that, and not to say anything, just because he may feel like he doesn't like girls at this point in time.
Oh, that changes.
It changes.
Yeah,
He's
Brooke did the flip-flop thing too.
He's
so
finding out, and you know, and that's just like I said. You know, that's a whole different podcast about you know, finding sexuality and stuff like that. But, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, does this compromise us allowing this, you know? And so I will say though, he has been over a few times.
Sure.
He is a great kid. But they know, like literally, like that door is open. They're in a driveway playing basketball.
Yeah.
They give each other, they paint nails and do facials and stuff like that. And I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, and you know, some people be like, do you support? Yes, I do.
100%.
I do support that.
Yes,
1,000%.
yes.
And whether your views
never...
change on me or not, that's just who I am. Love is love. And I've always been like that. I don't have any kind of
I allow it to happen if it happens naturally.
And that's what I said. 100%. And, you know, some people, I even had this conversation with my daughter. I said, you know, whether or not you get a girlfriend or if you get a boyfriend, eventually I'm, hi, you know, I would never turn my back on my child
for who they love.
And honestly, the amount of individuals that I see do that, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because that goes back to, once again, pushing all of our conditioned thoughts, our conditioned beliefs onto a person who I want to be her own person.
Who is genuinely innocent.
Who is genuinely
doesn't
innocent.
Have, like, they don't have a clue who they are yet, you know.
Absolutely. So
in some of the most moldable years of their life, your thoughts and agendas and whatever it might be is playing such a huge role into who this kid is becoming, whether you know it or not. If you're trying to prevent something that they're completely innocent about, all you're doing is opening a door.
But see, the thing is and I do, you know, it's something I do want to talk about. And you know, I feel like this podcast is more going towards like our children and raising, but it's great because I feel like, you know, a lot of parents, we are still learning. We all have struggles and things like that. So just to use this as an example, I was conditioned to have beliefs and thoughts into different subjects and areas.
Directly from your parents, or
I mean,
or
family,
just
peers, some, you know, that been around, whether it may have been like beliefs, whether it was, you know, racial issues, whether it was career choices in school. Like, I feel like we've been controlled, and that's what it is. When they say like kids are literally, we are blank slates as people.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
So we're only taught and conditioned. And like I said, I'm just going to use beliefs as an example. Growing up, I am not from a religious household. Now, my parents are both, baptized and things like that. Their parents made them go to Sunday schools and church and things like that.
My parents tried that too.
So, needless to say, I think pushing them into that agenda made them have a change. Like, my father he's so funny. He's not like a godly person, but he believes in the aliens. And that's a whole different subject. But no, like I said, and growing up, which made me start to question, like they never baptized me, and they said that they wanted to give, which I'm kind of glad they wanted to give me the choice as to what I wanted to do. And I kind of used that same strand with my children.
Mm-hmm.
So just like I said, just seeing. So, I'm like, I struggled. I still struggle. I still struggle with, I know, you don't talk about beliefs and stuff, but I still struggle with believing in religions and things like this. And, I'm like universal.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, okay, the universe and this. So, where I'm going with this is my daughter. We were driving. I picked her up from school. And it was just so random because, kids have these random conversations with you.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just like stuffing my face or something. And she's like, Mom, she's like, I know you don't like believe in God and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Like, I didn't actually like say those words.
Yeah, right.
But, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, but is it okay if I do? And it took me for like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely.
Yes.
I said,
1000%.
absolutely you can. I said, absolutely. I said, I really tried to tell my kids and open honestly, you don't have to believe in what mommy believes in. I don't want you to believe in what mommy believes in. I want you to form your own thought process. I won't condition my kids.
Yep. Just because I don't believe the white man in the white robe that lives in the clouds doesn't mean
that he's not real. And I try to give the most we'll know when we know, and everyone's like, oh, I don't believe it unless I see it. Well, we've never seen any of these things, but we still have beliefs.
Right.
But like I said, that's a whole different subject. But I just wanted to use that as to the off guard of, my kids. I'm like, absolutely. Do you want to go to church? I have took my kids to church and they loved it.
Really?
Me? Not so much.
Yeah.
I was
You're
being,
like, God dang it. God, get me out of here. Is it time to go? It's been 10 minutes.
But you know what? You know what's really crazy about my church experience is I was at a point in my life where I felt hopeless. I felt alone.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a million things. And I'm like, what if?
Well, yeah. Sure.
What is this? What do I got to lose at this point? Right? I need something right now.
That's really, in my opinion, what religion is good at.
Well, it is. And like I said, me and just the girls went. And I will say this. It was, I don't know if I was just emotional. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, it was the unity that I seen was so great.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't for me.
Sure.
And that's okay.
And that's exactly.
But my
the
kids,
point.
they had an amazing time, and whatever they did to teach them about the Bible in the 3 hours, they loved it. They did activities. They loved it. And like I said, that just like I was seeking and searching. I didn't find it there, but that's okay.
Yeah. But you gave your kids an experience that allows them to know exactly where they want to go and how they want to approach things.
And I still attend respectfully masses and things for people in their name. I sit through that, and it gives me, when I do go, it does give me a little clarity and some peace.
Yeah.
It does. Different reasons for different people.
Yeah.
And
We're kind of the same way. Like, Mary and I were both raised Catholic. And as we got older, we realized that Catholicism is just not for us at all. But now we're watching Brooke become, she's getting older and she's trying to figure out who she was. Because, when she was younger, we put her in a Catholic school.
I do remember. Yeah, for a long
Only
time.
because of where we were living. That was a private school and it was better than public schools. Mm-hmm. So we weren't really pushing an agenda. It was more or less allowing her to go to a school that we felt is a little bit more safe than the other ones that were available to us.
But was it? I think I always feel like
At the time, I feel like that was, but
I feel like that too. Like, I actually just had a conversation with my daughters about at a point in time, their great grandparents were pushing me to put them in Catholic schools because they're deeply belief in that.
Yeah. This school was
I
not,
was just like
you
I
think,
didn't want to do that. But then I'm like, I get what you're saying with like, felt safer and better experience. But it's like, honestly, the things that I have
got him.
the things that I have honestly learned with some horror stories about Catholic girls.
Yeah. So
like literally we think of when, we're talking about raunchy and stuff. These Catholic girls were getting some horrible names.
Yeah. And I don't think you're wrong in that regard. But like for me, like when I was considering putting her in those schools, my head immediately goes to priests and nuns all over the place and all this other stuff. It's not like that. It's teachers and there might be a nun and there might be a priest, but like it's not. That's it. It's not filled with that religion. Now, to address your concern about it, that I don't know, but from my point of view, I think we made the right choice now.
Good.
But now, so here we are 4 years ago now, we moved out of that area, put her in a better school system, so we allowed her to go to public schools. So during that time, we're figuring out like, okay, she's starting to see things from our perspective about not really knowing what's out there and not really believing in like I said, the white man in the white robe living in the clouds with, whatever. Like, that's not a story that we believe in. Mm-hmm. Okay. And she just kind of started following suit. Well, for some reason, within the past handful of months to a year-ish, she started going to Bible study with a friend. And I'm like, who is this person? It's a girl. And who is this? And she would meet up at McDonald's and they would read the Bible for an hour or two. And it's like, what? Like, I didn't understand it. I totally thought it was bullshit. But like, I'm like, all right, fine. So we started kind of like taking her to McDonald's, dropping her off. And she started going to Bible studies. She started going to an actual church Bible study. Then she started going on like field trips with these people. And I'm like, man, this is great for her. So I started like really like,
because what is not always good for you is great for them.
Oh, this was so good for her that these became the friends that she was missing because she was having a really hard time in school finding friends. Last year, she had not a single female friend. Every one of her friends had a penis. I'm not kidding you. She was in a group.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Brooke, I understand.
She was in a group of 4 or 5 boys, and she was the only girl. And it's like, I am terrified as a father at this point.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably how my dad felt too, because I'm like, hey, Dad, my friends are coming over. And then there's like 8 boys at our door. But you know what? Like, my dad always made his presence strong enough to know that them boys like literally had so much respect. But that's how that's how I felt. I felt like I could not, for the life of me, get my niche of group of girlfriends. It was always, I couldn't find it at that time. And literally I was like a tomboy. I really was growing up. It was crazy. I questioned myself sometimes. I don't know if I was gonna have a girlfriend. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, like literally, like and I am almost friends with every one of them to this day. 25 years later, like literally those are my people. Like I literally, to even have that and not at no time having sexual relations with those guys. And I feel like that's like the biggest
I
misconception.
actually have to ask you though, like,
Oh no, go ahead.
what, and that's as a father is what terrified me, right? Like, I mean, is she going to go in a room with 5 boys and bang every one of them? Like, I mean,
that thought never crossed my mind.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's
no, but
as a father, your worst case scenario.
And as like, yeah, but and as these mean girls,
yes,
to make those accusations or start those rumors,
that's
that
the
can
problem
happen.
we ran into,
and that can be a thing. And you know, like, I feel like I'm still like that to this day. Like, I have numerous, and I'm saying like I just have numerous guys that it makes me cringe if they would ask me out on a date.
Sure.
And a lot of them, I'm not even gonna lie, they're good looking. You guys are good looking. Like, literally, but to me, it's like, once I have already created that space for you, that's your space.
Yeah.
I don't dig to look further into any, it's weird.
Yeah, sure.
I've literally, I think there was a point in time where there was one incident to like where one of those boys that I was hanging out with, like, I think we were like about to kiss, and it was so cringe that we couldn't even do it. Like,
literally,
as in, like,
did he
it
feel
was
the
so.
same, though?
I
Or
think
is it
he
just
did.
you going saying, ugh?
No, I think he did, to be honest with you. And I just think that once we're just like, let's just dap it up.
This
after
ain't gonna
this,
work.
like,
Yeah.
let's just act like this just did not happen, because it's weird now for the both of us.
Yeah.
So I really do feel, I hear people say, oh, red flag is if your girl got too many guy friends. A lot of people do believe in that, or they believe that, you know, we're just out here inviting people in between our legs. Like, that's just, that's even cringe that most people would even think that. But I just feel like I have like such a stronger bond sometimes with men or boys at Brooke's
that age.
age.
Yeah, right.
So I as a dad, I kind of do want to, it is terrifying, but I do want to assure you that she probably 100% genuinely, she's already zoned them. Some of them. Yeah, I mean, I really do feel like a lot of them in her head are zoned.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, and that helps me out a little bit, because, you know, she did try to date one of them, like, and it was like, how long was it? 5 days, 4 days. It was, you know what I mean? And she's like, no, this ain't working. That was
a 2-day trial period,
yeah,
and it didn't work.
It didn't work. So
no.
That helped a bit, I guess, because now, you know, putting in perspective in the way that you're painting, I guess it makes sense. It's just, you know, and I tell people always ask me that, like, I have a friend that I used to work with, who lives relatively close. He's got 3 boys, and he's always said this to me. He goes, I have 3 dicks to worry about. You have all of them to worry about. And that's true, because you know, if using that mindset, putting her in a group full of 5 boys.
So I know, but it's also going to be dependable too on the girl.
Yes,
it's going to be dependable.
It all circles back to.
It also goes back to the parenting dynamics.
There it is.
So, and this kind of makes me sad saying this. If you put a 16-year-old girl with low self-esteem, no father figure, no mother figure, struggling, put her into those situations with those 5 guys, attention could definitely be different.
Yeah.
If you teach your daughters self-love, respect, your body is sacred. Mm-hmm. Your body is not something that you do want to just give away to anybody.
Yep.
I'm just like I'm still a believer in that at 40.
Yep.
And
you're
I probably I mean, I'm just being open and honest with you. I can count on one hand just how many sexual partners I've had, and I'm almost going to be 40. And I know most people don't believe that, trust me, because the list is like with my fingers and toes as to how many people I've been accused of, or that I've heard. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, that must not have been great, because I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like, it's so sad, because I could literally be spotted out with a guy now that is completely 1,000% my friend, and I'm sleeping with him.
Yeah.
And all we did was have
Instantly.
some fucking coffee and
Yeah.
some cheese, eggs, and like literally that's it. It sucks. It does, because it's like, then you get this rap, you get this reputation. But I've always just been so stern on like, you know, or someone may think I'm a little bit easy, or because I post a boudoir photo,
Yeah, well,
right?
come on. I
I'm
mean-
showing a little bit of my skin or my body, and but so you're gonna label me easy, because I
Yeah.
promise you could probably go through my inbox right now and you would
you probably
say
got
how easy that.
dozens, yeah.
Oh my god!
I can only
like
imagine.
literally, like not even like to be funny, but it's just like I'm not. That's not what I'm seeking. And you know, my father was there to give me enough love and to prove and show me to respect myself. And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I always knew as to the reputation and names that I didn't want to be called.
Yeah.
And I had female friends at that age who, the first 2 weeks, it was already 4 boys that they slept with in our school.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen what that did to their reputation. I seen what that did to them internally. I was probably the last one in my friend circle to like lose my virginity.
Yeah.
I believe I was like what they called back then, like the prude. Like the prude, I was with my first love for a year before I even like did any. I was, oh my
If
God.
I'm allowed to ask,
Yeah, you're allowed.
what year did you lose your virginity? At what age?
I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I was 13.
13.
Dad, cover your ears.
Yeah.
And that wasn't because of the lack of love from my father or anything. That was because I just thought I was grown.
Yeah.
I
think most
was,
girls or most kids
yeah,
at that time,
I
period.
thought like, and literally at that age, you don't even know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah,
You
no, of course
don't
not.
even.
Of course
Does
not.
it even count from that age?
Yeah.
That doesn't even count. I just feel like I was like, okay, now I lost my V card. Now I'm like fitting in, and it's like really, I really wish I would have.
And what did that do for you?
It
right?
didn't do, yeah. But granted, I was with the same guy for a very long time.
Sure.
And then I think I had my second sexual partner at 16.
Oh, that's good. I mean,
Well, I mean, it is,
to
but
have
it wasn't because I was still with.
Well,
the
I see.
first.
Okay.
I was still
All
in a
right.
relationship.
I see what you're
But
saying.
I think, but then that, like, not to be funny, that goes back to showing how much you're finding yourself during those years, right?
Right.
Because I thought the person I lost my virginity to was my first love, my first everything. I'm going to be with this guy forever, and he's just going to love. And then I started to get curious because there was other options and temptation. I'm 16.
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't am I going to be with this guy forever, or do I want to test the water? And I did test the water, and but like I said, that goes back to you're still finding
searching.
yourself.
Absolutely.
You're still searching, and like I said, I mean, I still didn't even at fucking 16.
Yeah.
You're still.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And that's
it is what it is. But I'm like, yeah, we just think we know so much.
right. And that's where I was going with the whole thing is the parenting and how you approach raising your kids, because you do have that massive effect on your children. And what I was going to try to do.
I looked at my daughter because my daughter's in 8th grade. So even last year, I'm like, oh my God, this is scary because I was literally in 7th grade when I lost my virginity.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine looking at my daughter and thinking
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So I found myself in that situation. It happened. It happened. How old was she? 14. She was 14. I caught her and her boyfriend at the time in her door in her room with the door open. Okay. I caught them to a point where, I mean, I saw it all. Do you understand? Yeah. All of it. When I tell you I lost my cool, I swear I was gonna beat the shit out of a 14-year-old that day. But anyways, that's just another peg in the board. That's just another step or another rung in the ladder that we're trying to climb here, right?
And we're still learning how to approach those situations.
So now, fast forward, she was 14, she's now 16, and now she has a boyfriend, which we still should talk about at some point. But I want you to read this. You don't have to read this out loud. I want you to read this to yourself.
Okay.
Because this is about me as her father, okay? This is why I have the relationship. It's a little long, so if you want to skim, you don't have to read it. But
I'm a fast reader.
Yeah,
So.
This is
Accelerator Reader Program. Shout out. No, I just. I had all the points.
That was good. That was good.
Like literally, they need to bring those programs back. Like no lie, I really do.
But this is why I am the way I am with my daughter. So just read that to yourself. I'll give you a moment, and we'll circle back to this.
Okay.
I know. FedEx was here. And I'll see a package.
Can I read the line? I think that
Go for it.
really resonates.
Go for it.
With me. You are more than enough. I'd rather have a father like you who's going through a lot of financial issues than a rich dad who doesn't give a fuck about his family.
That
When I tell you that, like that has me all in my feels. Like,
that kid.
that means you're doing something right as her parent, because I think a lot of us that grew up in our families, you know, I made this, oh my God, excuse me guys.
Okay.
Take your phone back. Okay. I had a conversation like related, and I said, you know, just when I might have been a little bit older, but moving in with my first boyfriend at the time, getting our first house, right? We didn't have a damn thing. We had a futon. We had some leftover stuff from his grandma. We had like literally, I think people were sitting on milk crates in our house, to be honest. And then life eventually. I eventually, in my eyes, got the house with the white picket fence and the family. I don't even want to cry.
It's okay. You're allowed to. There's tissue right there.
And luckily that was provided for me and my kids. But then there were some times in that home and things that was going on that I think back like, damn, some of my happy times were sitting in those milk crates and that futon.
Mm-hmm.
And I have all of this. And it's never about all of that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, why?
that
Like, wipe
is
my tears.
wholeheartedly the reason she sent that on this. Today is Saturday. That was sent on Thursday. Unprompted, she came out and saw me napping in the middle of a day on the couch. It was 6 p.m. I was napping on the couch. I wake up to that text message. And I tell you, and my answer to her was, I have no idea what I did in this life to deserve that, to deserve you. Because we've said this before, I've tried to approach parenting a little differently than I would say a majority do. You know, and people look at me like I'm crazy, like let her get away with stuff or, whatever. But it's not that. Like, her and I have a level of respect for each other that is, you can't ask for that. You can't. That's not something that you can't make that happen.
No. And even just like with and it just reminds me of just like my own father and my own childhood growing up too. It's like, and sometimes, my dad, like when we talk and he's apologizing for not to what I think he feels to being enough or what he could have done. And to me, like, but he did. He did.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, too, I know my parents have always given me everything I've ever needed. And I've never gone without. I've always had a roof over my head. I've always had a shirt on my back. I've always had food on my belly, and I've always had the stuff that a kid or teenager should have. But I didn't have that connection with my parents at all. I'm 40, and I can count on two hands how many times in my life that I told them I love them. We talked about this already once.
We talked about that in our episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the very reason why I am with her the way that I am, because I'm able to give her the love and affection that she needs, but also still be a leader and a parent, whether she likes it or not, of things that needs to get done or that she needs to do. There are a lot of people that don't agree with my choices, and a lot of people don't agree with the way I handle stuff. It is okay.
And I think people need to start being okay with that, because I always see so many parents go onto Facebook. Actually, I think it was one of your posts, Mary.
It
No, it was. No, it was. Excuse me. I'm like over here like, oh, great.
You're okay. You're good.
In my feels. No, it actually was. It was I think it was like 2-3 years ago. You had posted a picture of Brooke asking if her shorts were too short, because you were fighting with her about the shorts.
I remember that. That was it. Yeah.
And the amount of comments I remember reading was backlash as to, I would never, da, da, da. And I remember my statement was, as a parent, what do you think? Because the problem is you're seeking outside advice, and they're not her parent. They're just opinions. You have to do what's best for you, your child, your family.
Yep. I almost never ask. And
it's like I felt, and I understand. You maybe wanted to plead your case to your daughter. Well, these 20 other comments think your shorts are too short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not about those 20 other comments. It's about, as her mother, and I do remember I still remember my statement to that day. Now that I was thinking, like, somebody on Facebook, no, it was you, Mary, right across the room. But no, I'm going to be honest with you. If you pull up my daughter's first day of school picture in her shorts.
What did we do last night?
Oh, that was an ass.
They're
I know.
little.
No.
They're
I'm with that.
I mean, they're literally. I mean, they are shorter.
Short. Yeah, sure.
But I also don't. I don't want to give my daughter that perception.
Right. Well, and
now, don't get me wrong. There's lines. Your ass cheeks are hanging
100%.
out. You're definitely not going to school in that.
And that's exactly what
But
I was going to say.
if we're just like past the whole fingertip rule and we're still covered, who cares?
Go for it.
Go for it.
And that's kind of what happened last night, is what I was turning to her for, because she went with her boyfriend to their school's football game, which they didn't even start school yet, and they're already having football games. Anyways, she had this nice shirt on, or whatever, and her shorts were short. And I didn't, whatever. And we were getting ready to leave, walking away from Mary, and Mary's like, excuse me, that's an ass cheek. And so... It certainly was.
Okay.
So Brooke, she just like, oh no, it's folded up. She fixed it and covered her ass cheek. But
she'll just pull them back up when she gets to the
I know. But that's the thing. Like we're trying our best with her.
How many times
but
I changed in the Jammin' in the Heights bathroom?
Bingo. If you don't let them do it,
I packed my shit. Because what I left in was definitely not what I was wearing to the atomic
100%.
dog at the end of the night.
That's
okay?
exactly what
at
I
14.
think is so important, is just let them be who they're gonna be.
It is.
End of the day, let them be who they're gonna be. Educate them, parent them in a way where they can make their own decisions make the right decisions when that time comes.
Absolutely, because and that's the thing, we're not always going to be there to hold their hand.
Bingo.
Nobody was to us too. I've been in so many situations of what probably should have been peer pressure moments.
Yes.
Where I 1,000% made all the right choices.
Yes, and that right there is the reason I wanted you to read that text message, because I know that whatever I'm doing, is fucking working.
Was there times where of course, there was some times I did some stupid things.
Shit, but that's how you learn.
And as I learned, and I'm like, yeah, never again, not doing that. This wasn't for me. Or if I knew, these people were going to do, still to this day, it's just so funny because I just remember my cousin a couple of years ago, Athena, I'm calling her out. She had planned a girls' trip to Miami. And literally, like cousins, friends, and I'm like what the fuck? I'm hearing about this Miami trip. I'm like,
yeah, where's my shit?
The fuck? My invite got lost in Facebook or something. The mail, I don't know. And so I'm like, oh, so what? I'm not invited to. She's like, they don't have bingo on the corner of da 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 da. Like literally, like
you rotten bitch.
I'm like, you bitch. So it's like I'm the party pooper, but I'm actually a fucking good time. Okay. And that's what they failed to, I would have made the life of the party there. But no, needless to say, because they party a little bit harder than I do, so to say. But I was like, my feelings was hurt because I'm like, damn, I that doesn't mean that I can't go have a good time.
Right.
I'm not going to lecture. I think people think I lecture them all the time. I don't, I might be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do it. I don't know. I'm really a good time. So whoever wants to invite me on a trip, please fucking invite me because I am fun. I'm fun. I am such a firm believer in fun in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can have fun. I'm not a huge drinker. And when I do, I sometimes do overdo it. It's like you do, or I'm puking on the floor somewhere in a flower pot. I don't know.
I was always that. I never had, all of my friends were down the street at the Whelms's, getting high. I'm at home not doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that to have fun.
I smoked a little weed in my lifetime. It wasn't for me. I'd have to tell you another story on a different day. Like my first experience ever smoking weed was cutting school. That was probably the day that my dad got his phone call.
Hey, wait a minute.
Literally, probably
we're
on the day.
About an hour and a half into this
okay.
episode, which is okay.
All right.
What I want to say though, we should talk about that next week.
No, we
because
should.
I want to talk about that
my
first
story
time I got high
listen,
too.
my story is pretty fucking funny.
We should talk about
just to like clue in to where the person I was cutting school with was telling me that the guy is random fucking guy. Never met this guy a day in my life. We cut at random house on 71st in Harvard somewhere. And
is this something you want to get into when we talk about it?
Oh, well, yeah, no, but I just want to tell you the funny part is that the boy that I was well, it was a group of us, not just a boy, where he was like, he was in the movie Natural Born Killers. And I'm like, what? Like, it was just fucking weird because it's just like, and here I'm like smoking weed for my first time. So the thought of that, even smoking, God, it was like
That's
insane.
Amazing.
It was just like crazy.
So we should absolutely talk about some alcohol and our, maybe first times getting high and stuff.
Yeah,
I got some good stuff.
And what I would really like to do is maybe turn that into, an impactful episode of like how that
maybe
can
turn into like addictions and things like
the
that.
addictions and the recovery community. And, I do really want to touch base a long way with that.
Well, there are some lessons to be had there because, there is a reason now that I'm 40 years old that I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't do that stuff.
Me too.
There is something actually, okay, maybe she can be a part of this next week. Maybe. We'll see because there's things that we could talk about there too. So I think going into next episode, I think the best thing to do is we're going to talk about some experiences. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've gone through.
And how about, I want everybody to engage a little bit more. We've been wanting somebody to come on and talk, comment, whatever. So like, how about like our first time, we get people like, what was your first time experience?
Yeah.
Like maybe addiction was a part of their life at this time. Yeah. Or maybe it wasn't. Well, why do they think it was? And why do they think, it
and
wasn't?
How did that, where did it come from?
Yeah,
how do you think that
would
started?
be a great episode.
Yeah, that's great. So then that's what we'll do. Yeah. So next week or next episode, I should say, I keep saying next week, but next episode we'll talk about some addictions and alcohol and other forms of drugs and other forms of
mental health, because that all comes
that all
in
it all
hand.
does wrap into that. And we want to hear from you. We want to know what were your experiences, and why do you think that you've had those experiences? Why do you think you had to resort to that if that was something that you feel like you needed to do? Like, I feel like we can have a lot of good conversations, and maybe we'll even consider trying to bring some people on.
I would love that. And I also would like to hear feedback on, I know this, you guys, this is like so natural. We usually have like a little, not a script, but
This
just
is
kind of
different.
what we're like going through in today, which is like so freelanced and just like, but I also want to know everyone else's parenting struggles.
Yes.
I know we shared ours today. Like, I want to know, does anybody feel the same way that things that we talked about in this episode with, their kids? Because I also like to know, like, just because we're saying it doesn't make it right, obviously. I just would like feedback on what everybody thought.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited, and I needed this. And then
This
tears,
felt good.
listen, and we're like, we got to find a positive. I was reading positivity, but no, it is
naturally.
positive. It came naturally. And it was just basically learning and raising our babies with our own experiences.
So I kind of want to riff off of what she just said. I mean, we go every time that we start planning another episode, we kind of try to have, we don't have a script, but we have like a bones structured, written on paper, where we kind of have something to turn to and kind of help keep the flow going, right? And we just want to make sure that we always have something to say. But today, episode 3 was completely like off the chart, like off the cuff. There was no script, no planning. Literally, the only thing we said is we want to end at some positivity. And we did that.
We did.
Naturally. Like, there was no, so I guess, what do you think? I mean, this is our third question we're asking. So what do you think? How did today go versus the other episodes? So I guess we'll talk about that, and we'll see what some other people thought. And
thank you for watching. Please share, like, follow,
do all the stuff.
And like I said, we would love great feedback, and we would love to be able to address any other concerns, because as good as this is for me and Kevin, I'm sure it's good for others too to hear that, whether or not people are like, oh yeah, I went through that, or yada. So I think it was good, and we thank you guys for taking time to listen to us. So.
Absolutely. Thanks again, guys. And we'll see you next time. See you later. I lied. I'm back. We're not ending this show without showing you what we did. So listen, we started this show over a phone call and a text message before, not this episode, but the show in general. We talked about this for a little while. It kind of went dead for a handful of months, and then we picked it back up and said, we got to do this right now. Ever since this topic came up, Nikki has always said, there's one thing we need. We need it, and we're gonna need it. And this is before we even recorded. It has to happen.
It's in text somewhere.
So I just gotta show you. Let me find my buttons here. I have to show you guys what we did, what she did, and I love it. Look at this. Somebody look at this.
It's life. It is life. I said, listen, we're not official until we're official, so we have a live on air.
We gotta have the buttons. So we just wanted to show you that because she worked her ass off to make sure this happened for you guys. So
I made my vision come true over here.
Anyways, thanks again, guys, for joining us. We'll see you next time. That was amazing.
No, that is so funny. No, that is. No.